Hey everybody, just chilling on my couch, plotting how I'm going to kill that rooster and not get caught. Drop some hints if you can help me. Anyway, it's not that bad. I want to talk to you today about 7 money-making ideas that you can do in the Philippines as a foreigner. Let me throw out the big disclaimer, as if you don't know. Every single foreigner, before they step off the plane, already knows 2 things. You can't own a house or land, and you can't own your business. Okay, I got that out of the way. You don't need to bombard my comments with, a foreigner can't own that. Right? So you do you. Now, some of these things I did. I didn't have a wife here, and I'm going to tell you which one. First, let me start with the one I did. Farming. I farmed in Bukidnon with an Italian guy. We leased land. Leased. We didn't buy it. Leased. 15 hectares. I didn't need 15 hectares, but my Italian friend is loaded. He's a millionaire. I leased 1 hectare for 1 year for $100 US dollars. Okay, and so in 1 hectare, and that's a lot of land if you can farm all of it, is 3 cycles of crops. I grew cabbage, carrots, and broccoli. All of those were 100-day crops, so you could have had 3 in there. Now that I know what I know, I'm going to help you make it more profitable and better. Instead of, sometimes I had 50,000 heads of cabbage, 12,000 heads of broccoli. Don't go that big. So when you first start, you're going to hire 5, 6, 7, 8 workers, and they're going to create what's called the seed bed. And they're going to start your seeds under a black net so they don't get scorched. And after about 2 weeks or so, then they're going to go to the field. Here's what I recommend. Do a smaller number of cabbages, maybe a couple of thousand. Or even 1,000. Okay, a cabbage is in a row of raised dirt, and the cabbage will be here, then offset. So picture 1 foot, this cabbage, a foot later, this way. That way you can get more when you offset than you do if you just lay them one in a row right after another. Okay, so you're going to do carrots. Carrots is when you take, imagine the ground is tilled 12 inches deep. You know how big a carrot can get, and let's say it's a 20-foot plowed area, and then just enough room for a person to walk. Then the next plowed area, and the next one, and they're not going this way; they're going this way. And let's say you have 15 of those rows, 15. Go ahead and sprinkle your carrot seed. Carrot seed is almost microscopic. You put it in a bottle, an empty Coke bottle, and you make a slit or a hole in the lid, and you go down and you go ahead. Your worker will be doing this, not you. And you go down and you sprinkle it in there. And after, and you cover it up a little bit. After they pop up, and they're about that tall, you're going to weed out to where there's 1 carrot every 3 to 4 inches. And you just pluck the ones in the middle out. And then when you do, if you're going to do broccoli, then you do a smaller amount. 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, you do another seed bed, and you start to redo the cabbage, carrots, and broccoli again. So now what you have now is now you're harvesting, and once a month you now have a fat, juicy harvest, big enough to make some good money. You harvest the cabbage will be cut, tossed up, put in big bags, and down to Cagayan de Oro they go. You can get to Cagayan now in like 3 hours. The big giant wholesaler that buys your, hold on, there's a cat. So the big giant wholesaler will buy your vegetables. We call them gulay. Gulay is the generic term, the Tagalog gulay. And so now you're going to go there every month. Mark, why do this instead of just hit the home run? Well, what's going to happen is you'll see the price for carrots will go up and down, right? And so if you're harvesting every month, you will hit good peaks on your price. If you shoot for the home run and your carrots are low, the price for the wholesaler, well, it is what it is. Then you take them and you harvest them. Now you can hire a truck. It's called a bongo truck. Picture a UPS or a FedEx truck, the long one. You shear off the top. The frame and chassis are beefed up. It's strong. That guy, his business is to take your sacks to Cagayan de Oro to the wholesaler. I eventually bought my own baby bongo, and sometimes I hired the bongo and sometimes I didn't. The other benefit to harvesting every month is, let's say a disease comes in, a worm, a pest on the cabbage is super easy to take care of. Same with the carrots. The only thing they're going to attack is the leaf sticking up out of the ground. Here's another benefit for carrots. Let's say 100 days go by and you're like, wow, man, the price for carrots are a little low. You can leave the carrots there in the ground for almost up to a month and then harvest them. They're still going to be fine, and they're not really going to get much bigger, but nothing will happen to them. So there's my idea on farming. You do it every month. You're going to have a harvest. That's better. It also gives you time to get acclimated on what works best, and you're going to use chicken manure. They have hot, medium, and mild chicken manure, meaning the hot one has a much higher pH. Your guy, if you get one that's good, he's going to know which one for each crop. There you go. Now, I wasn't married. When I took the gulay to the Cagayan, no one said, show me your permit, show me your papers, right? None of that. They wanted the vegetables. I just happened to be there. The cash went into my hand and we left. Okay, there you go. So there's number one. Hold on a second. Another problem that we had is when you're in the middle of the province, it's 2025. I get it. But communication in the Philippines sucks. S-U-K-S. Sucks. Right? They don't communicate well in this country. Everybody has email, everybody has Facebook, everybody can access the internet. And here's what I'm getting at. We all wanted to know all the time, what's the price for broccoli right now? What's the price? And when you text or call your guy, the cabbage guy or the carrot guy, he might not even text back. It's not in their blood, it's not in their mind frame, it's not in their culture. And so lots of times you just don't know. Here's what you can do as a business. You have to live in Cagayan de Oro. Every day, when I tell you this place is big, I want you to picture a super Walmart times 2. No walls on the side, just a roof. And you walk in and every vegetable they sell and grow in the Philippines is in there somewhere. It's huge. What you do is you create a web page. It's not easy. I mean, it's not difficult to create a web page. And you go and you get prices every single morning. And then you have a spreadsheet on your website. You can advertise on your website. You can do promos. You can get kickbacks from, well, I can even say the word kickback in the Philippines because it's all the time. So let's say you got a cabbage guy and he says, Mark, send your guys to me. Put my picture and my stall number as on the front page instead of all the other cabbage guys. There's more than one cabbage guy, and I'll give you 5 pesos per kilo. Okay, so now you're getting kickbacks. You can sell advertisement on there. Now, once these farmers get to, and you keep it simple. You don't keep a complicated website with 14 different pages. You don't need a contact. You're not answering questions. You post the prices. That information is gold. You walk around once a day, twice a day if you want, because the prices do fluctuate. You can get broccoli that might be, you might be getting 70 pesos a kilo for broccoli. And all of a sudden, that's a pretty high price back in the day when I was there. China will start sending in airplanes of broccoli, like a C-130. And after about the 10th plane, the price goes from 60 to 13. Well, your people need to know that. So it's an unfair practice, but money is money, and no one's stopping the Chinese from flooding the market with their vegetable. And they did it to me, they did it to all of us on broccoli. There's where you have one harvest every month, 3 different crops. Don't put all your chicken eggs in one basket. They'll turn them into balut over here and eat them. Okay, so that's another thing. Also, you are in the catbird's seat, so to speak. All of that vegetable goes to Cebu, Manila. It's going to the big major cities by the ton. If you can gain trust, that's the hard part. If I had more time, I would have taken, because it's closer to Cebu. It's a 2-day ride to Manila. It's like a 7 or 8 hour ride to Cebu. I would go to Cebu and do my best to make contracts, wine them, dine them, take them to a dinner and say, hey, look, I can give you the freshest gulay. It won't even go to Bulwa, which is the big warehouse in Cagayan. I will have it boxed up. I will put it on a pallet. I will send it to you, but you got to prepay me first. And there's a big hurdle you got to get over. You're a foreigner. They don't trust other Filipinos. You think they're going to trust a foreigner? But if you can build, once you get that first major gulay buyer, and you can tell him, hey, send your boy here. Tell your boy to get on the boat, come here, inspect the gulay, put that money in my hand, and I already know the paperwork to put it on the boat, and you'll get the gulay tomorrow morning. You'll get it from the ground, and in 36 hours it will be in your hand. You won't have fresher gulay. And when you go to the wet market, sometimes you see a carrot that has rot on it. Are they going to throw it away in America? In the Philippines? They're just gonna cut out where that little rot is, and the carrot stays out there, and the carrot is like a rubber band. They're still selling it. You will now be able to brag, that vendor, that their gulay is from harvest to plate 36 hours. Okay, so there's, if you feel so inclined, you don't have to, but the website will make you money. And the bigger the website gets, there are tens of thousands of farmers. Once you become established, you will get tens of thousands of hits on your price website every single day. All right, let me get to the next one. Okay, tourism. Tourism, you need your Filipino wife to sign the paper. One idea is you get a van and you go down and you pick up tourists at the big city airport or the big city, and you take them out into the countryside to waterfalls. You know where everything is, and there are some kick-ass attractions that aren't developed. Right down the road from my house here is a hot springs. You can go in and the water comes up from the ground, fresh, clean, and it's like 130 degrees. Okay, so that's really hot. You don't have to sit right where it empties into the little concrete pool. You sit further away, eat dinner, have some drinks, sit in the heated water. And what does that cost you? Less than $1. So you could take them to 4 or 5 places. You can take them, if you're further away, let's say you're 3 hours away from a big city, you get them for 3 days. Okay, you're going to take them to 10 or 12 different locations. You're going to escort them in your white van, and they pay for their own hotel. So what? It's 20 or 30 bucks a night. And then you take them back to the big city. Most tour packages are, I'll take you to this island, $99. Okay, so they go out to an island for 4 hours, and each person has to pay $100. You take them for 2 nights and 3 days. You take them to 12 different places. You charge 250. You can get 9 people in a van. You do the math, right? That's over 2,000. I'm not going to do math here in my mind and look stupid. It's a lot of money, and so you could build that business, and you only have one asset, that van. Take good care of that van. Here's another business. Near my house and in a lot of places in the Philippines, there's a river. Usually the river is crystal clear. Okay, I lived in Virginia, and we had the Shenandoah River, and we always would go up, and you would rent a tire tube or a canoe. I guess you could do a kayak, and you could get a 2 or 3 man canoe. Everybody gets a life jacket, and you either float down the river, and there's a river near my house, and the water is crystal clear. So now what do? You get tourists. If tourists go to your little spot, they pay the fee. You get them and you drop them up river 3 miles. And you say just make it a lazy day. Come, just drift on down, and you can even rent them if you want to rent them a cooler that floats. They can put their beer in it. That's what they did in the Shenandoah River. So now all you're really doing is you got to have a vehicle. You can buy a big bongo truck used and ferry them up 3 miles, and then they drift down back to your spot, and they're done. Now at that spot you can grow. Let's say there's a canteen there, and you're selling chicken adobo, fried chicken, whatever. You can add other things and features to that piece of property. You could put a swimming pool. Yes, river water is fresh water and it's not salt water, but we all know how much nicer it is for a real swimming pool. So there's another business idea. That one will be tethered to your wife, and then let's keep going. Okay, so another business that I saw that you can do. I love cooking. I have some dishes that I make, Chinese, Indian, Thai, that it blows the local people away. It's like restaurant grade, OMG good. They don't have it here, and if there was foreigners that lived here, there's a 4 I think besides me. But if you go to a bigger city in Davao, this is what I saw. A German guy with his Philippine wife. He had a house similar to mine, right? He was making sauerkraut, Wiener Schnitzel, and all the German dishes. And the foreigners that want the authentic, real deal will once he gets known, you just, I guess it's a text thing, and they order off the menu. What do you want? I want this and this and this. I can have it ready by 6. You set your hours. And they cash app you the money before you start cooking, and there's a trust factor. There's a lot of Germans here, but there will be people from England they want that German food too. Foreigners will want it, and they're going to pay foreigner prices. The other guy I saw in Davao, an American, a white guy, he was doing barbecue. He only had a limited selection. I don't barbecue the ham or the pork shoulder, but brisket or whatever. But he would make the one that you would barbecue and then shred it, and it would go on a bun, a shredded barbecue pork sandwich. And the other one was a pork butt or a pork shoulder. Obviously, people are coming. They're having an event, and lots of times there's a pig at the event, and it's not cheap either, and so. They can now order a pork butt from you. Both of those guys were slamming successful. Now, the German guy was a cook back in Germany. Well, if you're an American, you could learn. You could get the charcoal cheap. You can get the grill custom handmade. You get the orders, and you marinate. You start your smoker. You work out the bugs. Boom, right there. There's a foreigner making money. Let me get to another one. Oh, this one's a slam dunk. Are you ready? I mean, if you're coming here, I guarantee you're going to start this business. Tanning salon. Okay, I'm joking. People here hide from the sun. I understand why. Because of the curve of the earth, it seems like you're a little bit closer to the sun. I'm telling you that the intensity of the sun is off the chain. And you'll feel it. Once you go out and it's broad daylight and it's noon and you go outside, it's like, holy cow. No wonder they have an umbrella. I don't blame them. But anyway, let's get to the next one. Okay. Airbnb. Airbnb here are very successful. So here's how I would do it if Big Daddy Mark was going to do it. Most of the time, it's a conventional house or a condo. Hey, I get it. You come to the big city and you're going to rent someone's condo. Excuse me. In my opinion, you should make. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg to make a nipa hut. Everybody that lives outside of an Asian country looks at native construction and is fascinated with it. A nipa hut is no different. So what you do is, and the design, nipa, N-I-P-A, hut. Go to Google, type Filipino nipa hut, hit images, and just look at the styles. Yes, a poor person lives in a nipa hut built by them, but now you get a nipa hut and you put air conditioning in the bedroom. There's a small kitchenette. There's a nice big front porch, hammock. There's a couple of different kind of hammocks. One is like an egg and you sit in it, and the other one is your conventional hammock. Big, fan, all the nipa hut stuff, and you can make a 2-story nipa hut. I would do a nipa hut, and then if it's successful, you do a second one. You don't put them 8 feet apart. The second one might be, let's say, 100 foot over than the other one. Privacy. And so that's what I would do, the nipa hut. You could live in one of the nipa huts and rent the other one out. Steady stream of income. Yes, there's a little bit of you have to have the right location. If you build a nipa hut out where I am, I can get a hotel with a queen size bed, a shower, and air conditioning for $22 a night. Right. So, but if you're in the right location, you're going to do well. And lastly, when I lived in Bohol, if you don't know anything about Bohol, B-O-H-O-L, Google it. Just look at images. It's a resort island, meaning it has several attractions on there that foreigners go to. And in Bohol, at any given time, there are thousands of foreigners that land, and they now you can land in Bohol. Before you had to land in Cebu and take the boat over. It's a couple of hours. So now you have tourists that have money, and here's what I saw one guy doing. He didn't go to Punglau. That's the hyper expensive area. Stay away from there. Right? Go to the mainland of Bohol. Go up a little bit more toward Chocolate Hills. Buy with your wife a piece of land. Look at the land. Scope it out for flooding and all the rest of that. And he built 10. He didn't build all at once, but when I got there, he had 10 nipa huts. Each nipa hut he didn't give you the ability to cook in the nipa hut. He gave you a microwave, water, coffee maker. That was about it. And there's no bathroom in the nipa hut. Let me show you what he did. You could put one there, more expensive. And so, he put a bed in there in the nipa hut, and then the foreigners would rent those for about $20 a night. On peak season, you might be able to get $28 or so. He had 10. It clustered in the center was like a concrete hollow block building, and that was the men's and women's room. When you walk into the men's room, there will be 2 urinals, 2 sit-down toilets, 2 showers. I guess what was in the female would be 3 or 4 stalls and 2 or 3 showers. I don't know. I didn't go in there. And so, and you just give them the little hot water on the wall, like I have in my house. It works great. That's number one. Number two, you buy, the island is well governed. The roads are in good shape. And so yeah, you come out here in the wild areas where I've been, and the roads can get dicey. The road will go from concrete to mud. But anyway, you rent them. You have 10 motorcycles, not the kind with a clutch, the kind, it's a scooter. If you can ride a bike, you can ride a scooter. It's just pull the throttle and go. When I lived in Bohol, last time I was there was 2017. I'm getting ready to go in August. Renting a motorcycle was $10 a day. Of course you pay the gas. Of course you and the motorcycle boy walk around the bike. It doesn't look brand new. It's not totally beat up. It's got some dents and scratches or whatever. He takes care of all the maintenance. You walk around and you make a note. You take pictures. You see that dent on the gas tank? Koya will say, yes, I see that. And you look at a note that when you come back, if you smashed it, dropped it, tipped it over, or got drunk and ran down on it, well, baby, you're paying that. You're paying that before you leave. So now you got scooters that are $10 a day. Picture $10 a day. If you got all 10 leased, that's $100. If you got 10 Nipa huts selling for $20 a night, that's $200. So 200 plus 100, that's 300 a day. Well, how much are you getting in a week? It's money just coming in, and all you're doing is making sure the Nipa hut looks good, applying a coat of lacquer, making sure the motorcycle guy's paid. How can you add to that? If you got enough property, you add a water feature, a swimming pool. You might have people that will come and just because you have a pool. You might have people come just to rent the motorcycle. They're not staying in your place. If you're smart like me, you would have a sign on the road showing your prices. You know why? When the foreigner gets there and they're in the $125 a night hotel, it's just a concrete block in your concrete room with your window unit. And they drive by, they're going to see Nipa hut, your price, and they're going to check out. Right? That you don't have to give them the whole thing. You can just say, I'm going to stay here for 5 days. Then you find my spot and you're like, let's stay at the Nipa hut. Aren't those cool looking? They leave on Monday. They're at your place on Tuesday. So you're going to poach customers with what you're offering and how it looks, and the price is right. And you're going to have a well with a water tank like I do, and that water will supply and you'll have a little booster pump that will supply pressure and water to flush. You can do laundry on site. They don't do their own laundry. They pay you by the kilo, and you do the laundry. How can you add to that? Now you add a small restaurant. I'm telling you, keep it simple, stupid is what they taught us in the Marines. You don't need some big elaborate menu. French fries, hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, maybe a couple of native dishes, lumpia, chicken adobo, fried chicken. Keep it simple and sell out of there. Beer, Coke, cigarettes, load for their phone. You can also let them rent a loaner phone, which is a phone that will work in the Philippines, and maybe they got there and they're like, oh, my Korean phone doesn't work here. Well, you can rent one of mine. Boom. You don't kill them with all these fees everywhere. Everything is posted before they show up. That would be my go-to. And here's another thing you could add. There's a lot of backpackers in the Philippines. The hippie dreadlock type. And I saw them all over the place in Bohol. Well, for 500 pesos, you give them, they can get a tent and you get the little logs, like when we get camping, you got like 4 railroad ties or whatever, sand, the helper will pitch the tent, and they got access to the bathroom now and the shower, which they desperately need, I'm sure. And then you got now you sell 10 tent sites. There's a lot of ways to make money. Those are all doable, some without the need of a Filipina, some with. And there you go. I guess the main gist of this is, it looks like you're sticking to foreigners as your source of income. Except for the website, you're looking to make money on foreigners. When you're a foreigner in the Philippines, Filipinos want it for nothing. You're filthy rich. Just give this to me, or just give me at such a low cost, or they're just going to turn their nose up I'm only buying Filipino. I'm not buying your crap. You've circumnavigated all of that by catering to foreigners. And what did foreigners come to the Philippines with? Cash. Anyway, this video went long. I don't care. I wanted to say everything I wanted to say. Hope you like it. Obviously, you can ask me a question. I monitor the YouTube channel daily. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And hope you subscribe and have a beautiful day.